Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am so excited to jump in today's crafting tutorial because today I decided to make my very own homemade wax melts for the very first time ever. So if you're curious to see how I made mine, then keep watching. So for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, wax melts are like these little cubes, and sometimes they're other shapes because people do them in like silicone molds as well. But the ones that you guys probably typically see the most are ones in these like clamshell type containers like so. You break them apart and then you put them in your wax warmers or Scentsies, and it melts the wax and makes your home smell amazing. A lot of people like using wax warmers because they don't have a flame. They're a little bit safer than having like a candle lit in your home 24/7. And I feel like your money just goes a little bit further with wax melts versus candles. All right guys, so for today's craft, you're going to need quite a few supplies. Now, if you've seen my candle tutorial, then you should already know all the supplies. It's basically the same thing. The only difference is the type of wax that we're using, and instead of containers or jars to pour our candles into, we're gonna be using some silicone molds today. Now, because I'm making wax melts specifically, I got this wax from Hobby Lobby. I was kind of unsure when I first saw it. I was like, oh, I don't know if this is the right kind. But then I kept reading, and down here it basically just says that it's good for votive and pillar candles, which means it's like a harder, firmer wax. Like this feels like a solid brick, which means it'll be good for wax melts because we have to punch them out of these silicone molds. Or if you're using like empty plastic clamshell molds, you want a solid wax. You don't want to use like 100% soy wax, which is going to be extremely soft and like pliable. Whenever you're pushing them out of your clamshell, you're going to like dent the wax cubes. I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work. This is my first time making wax melts and my first time using this type of wax ever. So we shall see together. Now you can use clear plastic clamshells, which you can order on, Amazon and other suppliers online. Or you can use, like in my case today, I'm using these silicone molds because I'm making these for personal use, just for my own home. And I'm going to punch them out of these silicone molds and just put them in a little jar for me to use whenever I need them. Now, anytime you're doing anything with wax, whether that's candles or melts, you need a scale to weigh out your wax and a tablespoon to measure out your fragrance oil, which you will also need. Now in today's video, because I'm only making some just for personal use, and again, this is my first time making these, I just got the smallest one possible. So this is exactly 1 pound. And according to the packaging, it says for every 1 pound, you're going to use 1 ounce of fragrance oil. And I happen to have this sample size fragrance oil that I got from Candle Science, and it is exactly 1 ounce. So I don't even have to measure out my wax or my fragrance oil because I have exactly what I need: 1 pound and 1 ounce. You're also going to need some mica pigment powder. They also sell like the color shards that you can just break apart and throw into your wax. And they also make dye that just kind of looks like food coloring that you just drip in there. But because I always have mica pigment powder, I'm going to be using this today. You're also going to need some type of thermometer. I actually found this thermometer at Hobby Lobby in the candle making section. And then you're also going to need a double boiler or melting pot. So I'm going to put this in a pot of water over there that I am currently boiling, and we're going to put our wax in here and melt it by double boiling it over that pot of water. All right guys, I'm super excited to try this, so let's get started. All right guys, so I have my full pound of wax in here, and I've broken it up into chunks so that it can melt down a little bit easier. So we're just gonna put our melting pot into our pot of boiling water here so it can start melting our wax. And I'm just gonna stick the handle inside this handle to kind of hold it in place for me. Now, it's really important anytime you're working with wax, any type of wax for any type of project, that you always read the packaging instructions on the wax itself. So for this specific wax, it is Country Lane, and then it has these directions on the side. So I just say that because it's really important that you follow the directions carefully, because every wax is different. So this one says that the melting point is 127 degrees Fahrenheit. The pouring temperature should be between 170 degrees and 185 degrees. And once it reaches 185, then we can add our color and our fragrance oil. So as you can see, it's like melted down quite a bit. Okay, so I've just stuck my thermometer on there so I can kind of keep an eye on the temperature because the wax is almost all the way melted. It's just that little piece down there that's not melted quite yet. All right, guys, so as you can see, our wax is completely melted in there. Now, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is right at 190. So I'm going to pour in our mica pigment powder and stir that in, and then we are going to add our fragrance oil. Now, for this part, you really do not need a ton of mica pigment powder. A little goes a long way. So I'm just using the skewer that I'm going to stir this in with. I'm just putting some in the wax. Like, I feel like that's pretty good. I really didn't do a ton. So now I'm just going to stir that up really good. Okay, and there is our wax all mixed up with the mica pigment powder. So now I'm gonna add the fragrance oil, and like I said before, normally I would measure out 1 ounce for every pound of wax, but because I got exactly 1 pound of wax and I have exactly 1 ounce of fragrance oil, I don't have to measure. I can just dump in all of this. So I'm just gonna dump this in, and you just wanna make sure that you stir that really well so that fragrance oil is throughout all of the wax. And this smells so good. So now we are ready to pour it into our silicone molds. Okay, so I'm just gonna set up my silicone molds on this tray. Now I've seen people sprinkle some glitter on their wax, like while it's still wet. So I'm gonna do that because why not? I'm just gonna do it on this set though so I can see what it looks like. I decided to go ahead and add glitter to this one too. I can't help it, you guys. Y'all know I love glitter. Okay guys, so I had saved just a tiny bit of wax in there and I just reheated it. And now that my wax cubes have been setting for just a little bit, I can kind of see how they have like sunken in the middle. So I've seen that some people recommend that you just pour some more wax over that. So I saved just a tiny bit. Okay, that looks so much better. So now we're gonna leave these to set overnight until they are 100% cured, and then we'll pop them out. All right guys, so it is the next day and our wax cubes are fully cured. So we're ready to pop them out. So I just have a glass jar here that I'm gonna put them into. And like I said before, these are for personal use, which I'm so glad because these did not come out super pretty. So I'm just gonna pop these out into the jar. So just like an ice tray, you kind of want to break these cubes up. I'm literally just bending the mold apart so that they are all separated. So now, as you can see, they're all like individually separated. So now I'm just going to pop them out of the mold and into our glass jar here. Okay, so here are our wax cubes. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at one of these. So here is our wax cube. As you can see, like the bottom's not very pretty. It's kind of like misshapen, but that's okay. And you can kind of see the glitter in some spots, more so like when it's in the light. But I think once it's melted, you'll be able to see it a lot better. Okay, so now let's pop out our cute little heart shape wax melts into our jar. Okay, and here's one of our heart shape wax melts. Super cute. So now I think the only thing left to do is to actually melt these and see how it melts. the consistency, how the glitter is going to look in the ones that have glitter, and how strong the scent is going to be once they're melted. And for anyone asking, I got this adorable jar in the dollar spot at Target. It was only like $5, so it's just this really big, wide glass jar with a like bamboo wooden lid. So for $5, had to pick this up, and I mean, just that 1 pound of wax made all of these wax melts. So even if you're not selling these, I think this is definitely going to be a good hack, like for me, to make my own wax melts, because I have a huge addiction to Scentsies and wax melts, and I collect so many of these. So I think to be able to make my own with the fragrance oil I already have and like, because of my freshies and candle making, I can just make my own wax melts and save money. All right, guys, so I'm excited to try these out in my warmers. So let's go melt some of these wax cubes. So we're gonna test out our wax cubes and how they melt. So of course I wanna try the cute little heart-shaped one with glitter. Alright guys, and there it is, all melted. Love the way the glitter looks in there and the shimmer from the mica. So pretty, and it smells so dang good. Alright guys, I love how my wax melts came out. They could have been a little cleaner on the top layer, but I think that's okay for, you know, them just being for myself. But other than that, I think I did okay for my very first time. And I definitely can't wait to get more. I think I'm gonna have to go back to Target and get like several more of these big jars, because that 1 pound almost filled up a whole jar. So that was perfect. I think I will get some more of these so I can just have a variety of wax melts like at any given time. Because like I said, I am obsessed with wax melts. I just love having my home smell nice. I like melting these in every single room, and I'm like one of those like meticulous people that really likes having the same scent throughout the entire home, but I like to switch it up. So I think if I go get more of these, and then I can just kind of like stack them up or put them up on a shelf or something, and I'll just have a variety to select from anytime I want, I think that's gonna be really cool. I also think this will definitely save me money in the long run. I believe I did get this one at Hobby Lobby and it was $3, but I wait until they're 50% off and then I just stock up, making them $1.50 a piece, but for 6 cubes. And I got an entire jar for not that much, and I get to make them whatever color, scent, decorate them however I want. So I just can't wait to make more of these. But anyways, as always guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please let me know by giving me a big thumbs up. If you have any other questions or comments, feel free to drop a comment down below. I would love to hear what you guys think. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, be sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any other crafting tutorials. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.